All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again. What is this, episode 9 of On the Flank, since you joined us with UGC? I'm your host, Velly, as usual, your favorite brown guy. And we have some beautiful people with us, but starting off with Colin. Tell them who you are. Even though I just said your name, tell them who you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Colin Clarke, aka Best Dressed Caster in Gears. A little pulled back tonight because I have to represent the fantastic, the incomparable, the high level energy formula that helps all gamers across all nations, across all colors and creeds, baby. It's G Fuel. Thank you for coming on board with On the Flank. Go to gfuel.com, use OTF code, get yourself some of that % off. But I am so humbled tonight because we are joined by not just one of the best analysts, one of the best drivers in the entire world, Mr. Waldo, right there in the middle, but to the left of him.
Juice this up, Colin. Juice it up. Don't play this lightly now.
All right. Look, I'm going to give him the juice he needs. To the left of Waldo, ladies and gentlemen, is a former world champion, a man who was there and gone before you know it, who kills you and all your teammates, and all you can say is, who got Speedy? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we got Speedy. Tonight on the Flank, it is the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one, the only, the IGL that everybody loves to hate, but everybody hates because he's so damn good at what he does. Speedy, welcome on the Flank, baby.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Why did it take you so damn long for you to finally get on this show? I've been trying for like a year now with you.
Like I said, I'm just not a real big talker. I don't like to really talk about a lot of things. I just keep to myself. But I'm here now, man.
There you go. He just plays and kills things. But before we get started on the show, I had a long work day. Okay, I'm kind of tired. Colin, you kind of tired?
Always a little tired.
So when I'm tired, I like to try a little something. I wanted to play with the chat a little bit. But I'm gonna try some G Fuel. So I've only had one flavor, and it's only been the strawberry shortcake. All right. And Colin, I'm wondering if I should try the Phase Berry, the Tropical Rain, or that Dr. Disrespect joint. Have you ever had that?
That black on blackberry, baby. Don't even. The black on blackberry is where it's at. It's a beautiful shrine. Let's get humbled at that shrine.
All right. So this is a little shameless plug, but no, honestly, I want to say thank you to the people at G Fuel, Mabry, and everybody involved because it's pretty cool. They I spoke to them. They were interested in what we did. They were interested in the Gears of War scene, which is big. Pay attention. And so they said, hey, we're interested in you. We want to send you some samples. Try to get the community, involved in G Fuel. The culture and what we do. So I said, that's fine. And then they said, I'm going to send you a little something. All right, when they said a little something, I know they was gonna send me, all these flavors and everything. So, I took some when I was at work the other day. I was tired. I woke up and I felt great, man. And I honestly love G Fuel. But yeah, I'm gonna try this. All right, so with this being Dr. Disrespect's thing, I kind of hope that it tastes good, or else I'm gonna have a beef with the doc himself. Have you? How
you don't want that static. You don't want that static.
The mustache is OD, right?
You did the bulletproof mullet, the 6'8", 40-inch vertical leap, the two-time 1993, 1994 back to back. Ladies and gentlemen, Doc. You know the Doc.
I'm gonna tell you now. I just tasted it. It reminds me. My lips ain't felt this way since I kissed my first mixed woman, and it's the best thing ever.
Hey now.
All right, but enough with the shameless plug. I say we jump right on board. Very first topic of the day: TreyWay. No, excuse me. No, that's next. Denial loses to another pickup team. So you can go about this a positive way or the Velly way. I'm gonna go about this the Velly way. I'm actually embarrassed for this team. All right, I'm embarrassed for this team for all the talk that we've seen, all the hype that's expected. When Ghost Gaming and Echo Fox did their little fusion dance and made this team, they've lacked. And yes, they did win a 2K when Mint was playing nothing but Call of Duty all day, but now they're losing to pickup teams, and that shouldn't be what the second place team should be doing. All right, let's actually take a look at the team that beat them. It was Noah, Cody, Enforce, Powers, and Zerpting again. And Zerpting and Toady actually beat this team twice now. That shouldn't happen. And as a top 2 team, Waldo, what should we be expecting?
Them to actually have composure and beat the kids. I mean, Powers was lagging the entire time, like the whole series, and they're getting pushed around everywhere that they're going. And honestly, I don't know what is up with Denial. Like, they have just been holding L's for like the last 2 weeks, and I hope they get it together for Mexico, because if this is the form we're seeing, I do not have high hopes. And again, it's online. Like, get it. It's a 2K.
I don't want to hear that excuse. I don't want to hear that.
I'm just saying, like, in context, sure it is, but I'm really confused about why this team is losing to everybody under the rainbow and not being a dominant team. That was their 2K to win, and
Yeah.
Powers just stole it from him.
That was their 2K to win. Speedy, you've obviously competed at a high level, whatever, but you told me that you go against these pickup teams, it's like a win-win for them. And why is that?
Well, pretty much. I mean, you think about it, they have nothing to lose. They run around, they win. It's great job to them. They lose, oh, you played a pickup team. So either which way, it's pretty much a win-win for a pickup team. You just go in there with no fear in your heart and wall bounce around and shotgun.
Yeah, just having fun. Colin, any thoughts about this squad, this top 2 team, the contenders, quote-unquote, losing again to a random squad? Not full of randoms, but a random squad.
I think it looks to me like they have a little bit of an identity crisis. And what I mean by that is there are times where you see that team fire on all cylinders. They play the way that you expect them to play, whether it's against the highest of competition or the lowest. They smack people around. They wolf pack. They get the right little two-man teams running around the map at the correct times, playing the correct positions. And then other times you see them kind of playing scared, playing back. Let's all 5 play hero ball, try to get damage on somebody as they come into the fight. One-shot chunk them and we'll win a bunch of 1v1s. And that's really not going to cut it, because even though that team is a pickup team, it's filled with 5 decently to highly skilled players, including the likes of Powers, who we all know is the Grim Reaper himself at times in this game. And I think what you have to do is take a good, long, hard look in the mirror, sing a little Michael Jackson to yourself, start with the man in the mirror, because you're going to have to figure out who you are as a team and who you're going to be going into Mexico City. You cannot let yourself try to play 2 different styles. You have to dictate the pace of the game, especially to pickup teams. You cannot let them fly around and wolf pack and do as they choose. And what you should do as the number 2 seeded team is say, hey, look, we have some more, we have the right capability, we have the right players, and we have the right sense between our ears to either get them caught off guard or get them in the wrong situations and be able to dominate this game as we should.
Yep. And Mexico is going to be an 18+ only event, so that's pretty much an RIP in the chat for everybody on the roster that beat the number 2 team, because that just shows that the future of Gears Order is in such great hands. You have Zerpting, Toady, Powers, Noah, who's like 12.5, and they're running around and they're beating OGs in the scene. They're beating people that won championships. They're beating the number 2 legit team, quote unquote, in North America, and that definitely shouldn't be happening. So
I think the other thing is
excited until after Mexico.
Well, for me, I think it adds a lot of stock to the players after Mexico, right? Like, these are players like that cannot compete here, so they have nothing to lose, right? They just can throw a team together and play. But how much stock after like another roster mania hits? How many of these players like Toady, like Powers is definitely going to go back to Rise. I can't see any other world where that happens. Like, he's going to go back on that team, and Rise gets again that free pass. Like, oh, Powers isn't here. This is like, we don't have high expectations for the team. Like, they should still place top 8 hopefully, but we're not expecting like them to win the event. So it's completely changes the dynamic after Mexico, because all these players' stock is going up because they almost beat OpTic the week before. They beat Denial last week, or beat Denial this week, and now what happens in the next 2K, or what happens after that? Like, I think these players definitely could be on a shot on a higher seeded team. Like, we'll see after Mexico.
It's funny. So that team beats Denial, and Denial catches another L for the 2nd week in a row in the 2K. And then they went against Speedy's team. Speedy, what is the official name of your team?
We really don't even have an official name, to be honest. We're looking for an org right now, to be honest. And we haven't really like came up with any type of team name. Like, we're just trying to find an org, really.
I'm 1,000,000% serious. If you guys don't have an org by Mexico, I'll give you $200 to either rep the light skins or the on the flankians. And then you guys,
See-
whatever you
see-
do with the $200 is on you, man.
I was gonna go ahead. I was gonna go the exact opposite way, though. I know you're trying to get it in. I know you're trying to get a little juice going into Mexico City. But I honestly think, if to be denied is the word that they might be looking for, I think they should go in as allowed, because I think if there's a good chance they might go up against a team called denial, and they're the allowance. Look, they're gonna make you pay right now for some of the stupid things you've done in recent weeks. So I think allowance might be a good little name for them. Make people pay and be the exact opposite of denial type.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there in the chat, I know you guys have a million questions for Speedy. Make sure you go ahead and write them out there. But Speedy, now you're on this team. We're used to seeing Ghost Gaming, and whenever I thought about Ghost Gaming, you were the face of Ghost Gaming to me. The duo with you and Reshies was phenomenal. You were dead ass like you're still considered like a top 3 player in the game, like individually as like you're a force. What happened from Ghost Gaming until now? What happened with Ghost Gaming? What happened with Denial Contenders? And why this team? Why are you on this squad?
Well, there's a lot of stuff that I can't say, but basically to make it short, a lot of things behind the scene were going on at Ghost. Things didn't work out. They ended up dropping the team. I had went to the former team with Icy and Fran.
Yeah.
And I had to it's just, I've been with them for so long. Like, I just had a lot of anger built up on that team. Like, I felt like I needed to go and better myself and work on myself and have like a fresh start. So then I left them. I went through the jungle, a lot of shitty work ethics in the jungle out here. Like, I didn't think it was this bad. A lot of people who
bad, yo.
Yeah, it's really bad. It's a lot of people who talk a great one, but don't put the work in. Think everything's a joke. Wonder why they lose. And then I formed this team. I was teaming with Kaid and blasting them, and then I had left him. I came to this team, and we obviously had they have dropped musics for me, and we were playing with Q, and we came to a team decision to play with Kaid, and that's really just how it happened.
And looking back at it, it hasn't been a terrible decision so far. You guys, this is the first time on Fight Night where we've seen 2 entirely different teams for the first time up there. One that's not OpTic and one that's not any of the players from Denial. And it's a fresh look. So how do you feel like this team compares to your last teams, and what really makes this team special? If you were to name really an X factor other than yourself, like who on your team would you even boast about?
It's hard to say. Like, everybody does their own thing. Like, it's just 2 different teams. Like, the way we do things is totally different. Like, on Ghost, we're really aggressive. On this team, like, we use a lot more teamwork and like move. We're still aggressive, but we can play both. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quote unquote the IGL, but everybody does their part. Like, it's not like I'm just calling out. Everybody's calling out. We listen to each other. Like, we don't rage. Like, we just fight our way through. Really, I like this team because like everybody holds their own weight. Like, you don't have to. There's not really a weight that you have to pick up a lot.
I don't see a weak point on that team.
Yeah, and even if you think somebody's not good or the best, quote unquote, skill wise, like they still bring other things to a team, like communication and being that annoying player that goes to spots and does things that a lot of people don't want to do.
Vel, real quick, do you mind if I phrase a question to Speedy?
Dude, take over. This is your show too.
I want to make sure I don't want to cut you off if you had something else you want to ask him. Speedy, I like to look at things in the context of kind of traditional sports ethic work. As most boxers get asked a lot or get analyzed a lot, they kind of get asked why they are dangerous. Like, are you an in-boxer, out-boxer? What is your haymaker? What's your KO punch? I'm curious, what makes your team so dangerous going into Mexico City? If you had to point out one thing that makes you dangerous, what would it be?
And when you answer this, keep in mind, I have people like R-Step and others in the chat. They come from Rainbow Six. I have people from other games. So if the viewers are people that never watched Gears of War before, answer it that way.
So what makes my team so good right now going into Mexico is that like we all have good shotguns, but we can all lancer too, and we can all use power weapons. So like we don't really have like a weak link like that. We all call out. We can rotate the map. our communication is actually great. It's probably the best any team I've been on so far, to be honest. Yeah, we're good close range, we're good long range. Like there's really, I don't see really a big weak link in our team. I feel like you get in our face, we're gonna shotgun you. You want to play smart, we'll out rotate you, we'll answer. Like I'm just confident in my team right now.
You found four guys that are all jacks of all trades. They could do whatever you need to do. It's nobody specializes in something, so you find a weakness. It's that everybody can kind of do what they need to do.
And this team is full of like people who want to win. There's no egos involved. We talk about everything. Like nobody gets mad. Like we just express ourselves and we move on. That's it.
Do you feel like your team has like a lot of like feels like I think you guys are kind of like Toy especially, and you're not like. Do you guys feel like you have a chip on your shoulder like going into Mexico? Like you guys got a lot to prove like going in, especially like Kaid hasn't like had the best placings as of recently. Like, there's a big opportunity for you guys to really upset some teams going into brackets.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to prove, but then again, like we're just worried about ourselves. Like we just want to do what we know we can do. Like we're really not worried about like how people look at us or none of that. We just worried about going to Mexico and performing.
Well, when you take a look at this roster, this is dead ass the redemption squad. You got Speedy, Toy Soldier he played lights out last event. Crushmo, a beast, redemption journey. Firearm kicked off of multiple teams, redemption story, and then God Plays had it just about worse than everybody in season 2. You came off a ban to be the scapegoat and kicked off of every team you've been on, and you've been in the jungle for how long now? I really feel like, especially going into Mexico, in my opinion, I feel like Mexico is the easiest event to place your best because of what Roster Mania did to the teams. I mean, when you take a look at top 3, you took away second and third and just had second. Yep. That one team is gone. A lot of teams like went away to create one super team. So, not even using that as an excuse. I really feel like you guys can really bang with the best of them, and that's why I'm really excited to see what's going to happen on Fight Night. But kind of moving forward, that's really not the only upset we saw, Colin. What happened with this TreyWay match?
I think the easiest place to start, and if Waldo, if you want to kick it off, I'll give you my thoughts afterward. But I know you watched every single shot that came out of this.
I stopped watching actually, like in between. I was like, TreyWay, OpTic just literally obliterated these guys in the Gears Community Series. I watched Abolix not drop a kill until the 7th round. Like was 0-14 up until that point, and then he dropped 7 kills for the 1 round they won on Dam.
You saw Lanarchy get
World Star. Like it was abysmal. And then they went to Diner, and it was a little bit closer because they knew how to split the fight between OpTic, so they put drops and boom down. And I was like, oh, that's a little bit closer. Like okay. And then they get into a best of 1, and I don't know if OpTic didn't give them a best of 3. It was a best of 1. It was on Foundation. And OpTic, like Mental was on
OpTic's map.
Right. Well, Mentals was watching again as the Pro League's going on at the same time. So half of us are watching the Pro League and Phase G2 not making it in. And those are in Game 5s while they're playing. So he wasn't playing at the thing. They weren't calling out. OpTic's communication looked really sloppy. And literally TreyWay's team put it together, chip on their shoulder from losing last week, came into the 2K and literally were just playing lights out. I was watching them the rest of the night when I could because they weren't streaming until like later in the bracket. Yeah. They were hitting a lot of shots. Like they were on point with the rotations, on point with how they were playing pressure around the map. They played fantastic for a turnaround. I have nothing bad to say. I know a lot of people were like, Lanarchy proved himself now. I was like, well, yeah, you still got world starred, but at least you got like take back and did something good. But yeah, I was listening to Praise thing afterwards, and they were all mad. They know that they shouldn't won. Like
it was summed up by Praise. Praise came down Mario Tarp top street going toward the E hill, and he gets to the bottom of the ramp. He sees an opening to try to get the back statue, and then all of a sudden he gets hit with 2 lancers from the mid steps, the baby steps coming up the statue. He gets hit with double Lancer, immediately downed almost before he could even blink his eyes, quick as a hiccup. And then immediately as he's downed, he loses his shit because nobody called out that there's two people coming through closed. Nobody got any shots on him. Nobody was contesting anything on the side of OpTic. It was literally Solars above him at the Mario Tarp or Mario Pipes, whatever you want to call it, and him trying to get the back statue. Everybody else was kind of doing whatever they wanted to do. And for a competitor like Praise to like, yes, you hear him talk a lot of smack, but even when he's losing, he's not really losing his composure. He knows what his skill level is. He knows what he's capable of, but he lost composure because he looked at the four guys around him and said, well, nobody else is going to fucking care. Nobody's going to fucking try. I'm the only person trying to get this dub, even though we should be able to get it walking in our sleep. We have to at least be walking. People weren't even trying. People were too busy watching other things, trying to make something else of the day, trying to do something else with the rest of their time. And then before you know it, it's too late. And then OpTic staring down an early exit. And I've never seen a team of 5 people leave a best of 1 faster than TreyWay left after they won round 7.
They
were out. They
ghosted.
It was like a fucking smoke bomb went down, and they ninja'd their way out of the room.
They were like, report the match. We out. We won. That was the best of 1. We're done. Like,
hey, Speedy, like being real for a second. All right, so you're looking at this team of amateurs that are hungry, and they go against OpTic, and this is the moment everybody's looking for when you're playing Gears where you want to beat OpTic. Them actually beating OpTic, I mean, a million excuses can be made, but can we give credit to like hunger and their like lack of fear of approaching fights? Do you feel like most people have a mental block going against OpTic, or what could have gave them the upper hand?
I feel like most people definitely do have a mental block going against OpTic. I mean, regardless of OpTic's situation, you got to give credit where it's due. They did bang with them. They did win the match, even though OpTic was probably half-assing it, just thinking it was going to be a breeze.
Overlooked them, yeah.
But that's what happens. That's happened to me. It happens to the best of us. Shit happens. Like you can't win every single game, but I feel like they really overlooked them, and that's what happens. You overlook them. These kids literally don't care. They're flying around, chunking everything, hungry. They want to win.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I feel like people should take notes, man. Like, OpTic 1,000,000% overlooked him. Yes, it's online, which I hate that excuse, but they wanted to fight and they ran up there with their guns ready. But with both of these upsets, Colin and Waldo, I mean, OpTic and Denal, like, is there anything to be worried about going into Mexico or just nah?
I think they're going to be. I mean, Gilbert was like at Disneyland or something after that, so I mean, he probably went and hung out, and the rest of those kids went to the gym. Like,
he didn't take over and punch him.
No, I think mental and summons and Solar's at the gym after too. Like, there's nothing you could do. You talk about the loss. You guys weren't taking it seriously. Like, okay, maybe you should be concerned a little bit of like, okay, we may need to take this next week and a half seriously before we go into Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a sign of things to come because it's not consistent losses. We still have a Gears Community Series later in the week. That's the finals. You'll see these teams match up again. On the other hand, I don't know what to expect at this point from them. Like, it hasn't looked clean. I honestly feel like Rezik is always on an island. I said it when we were casting the series. Like, everybody else is dead, and Rezik is left in a 1v5 or a 1v4 every time. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't blame the kid. What is he going to do? There's no help. Everyone else died. Rushies ran in quick, picked on a drop one time, got out with it, and literally was full red, wasn't able to do anything with it. So they get the quick pick, they get the objectives, but it's just looking bad, man.
Oh crap, yo, check this out real quick. TreyWay not only beat OpTic. This is Lanarchy, Abolic, Zyshow, Carrying, and Braveheart, by the way. They also beat Simplicity, Clouts, Kyle, Shock, Pales, and them. All right. Not only did they beat Simplicity, they also beat Mazer, Hezzy, Nunez, Exclusive, Mortifies.
Those were best of 3s. So they have won.
Those were best of 3s?
Multiple best of 3s. And honestly, they played consistently the entire night. Like, they were playing lights out.
Shut up.
Yeah, it was probably the biggest turnaround I've seen from that team specifically. From going and seeing them last week to seeing them now, they played lights out clean. And Shock was like, they do not miss shots. They were not missing. They were not bad on rotations. They knew where they were going. They were on
that G Fuel, baby. Yo, Colin, Colin, this type of come up that we see in Gears of War, it doesn't happen often, but when we see it, they stick around.
I have one big question. I got to pump the brakes a little bit because there's a massive question mark I have about this team right now.
Oh,
Are they going to Mexico City?
No, they're not going to Mexico, man.
I don't think I had someone Chuckadoodles come in my chat and say Lanarchy is like he wants to compete, but he doesn't want to go to LAN with a bad team. And I kind of have the same argument as like if you're that good and you have an opportunity and someone's going to give you an opportunity, you need to just show up to LAN and play and make a name for yourself.
I hate to say this. If they go play an open bracket, somebody will notice the true talent on that team. And that's the thing about this entire discussion. I don't care who they beat almost now. There's almost no part of me that gives anything more than a passing thought about this team. Because if you're not willing to go and compete on the best stage possible, which is LAN, and go and put all of that credit that you built up by beating these couple of pro teams on the line and possibly get embarrassed, I have a hard time putting any faith in it. You asked us, this whole discussion started with, is there anything I should be worried about with OpTic Gaming and Denial losing? And I am worried about something. I'm worried about the rest of the pro scene, because if there's one thing we've ever known from the green wall, it's that you do not want them to be angry with you. You do not want to wake up sleeping giants. You would like to leave them lay and be complacent. When they lost in Mexico City Season 1, complacency was an issue. When they got knocked out in Season 2 early on by Ronin, complacency was an issue. Yesterday, they're watching COD streams. They're thinking about Disney World. They're sleepwalking through matches. Guess what happens now? Guess what happens now? Now everybody's going to get the full treatment. Don't care who you are. Don't care what your name is. Don't care where you're from. You about to get each and every round as hard as we can go. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried. I'm might be worried about Denial as a team going into Mexico, but I'm worried about the rest of the community about the green wall going into Mexico.
Hey, Dylan, Speedy. What did you place your very first event?
Third.
God damn, you're a terrible example, man. I was trying to make an example out of
so much for that, though.
Damn. All right. So let's just ignore that ever happened. My man SL7K, he says, Velly, I love the show, but calling this shit to come up is a foolish. Be real. I'm gonna be real with you. My first event, I got 17. I got top 18. The very next event, I got top 3. You can't be scared to go to an event because you're worried about not placing well, because that's foolish. You're not only holding back the scene from one more team at an event, but you're also holding yourself back because you never know what's going to happen. With that being said, the fact that TreyWay actually beat not only OpTic Gaming in the best of one, they beat Mazer and Simplicity. They beat 3 teams that get paid to play the game.
I tell them to go get their money. Like that's what that tells me.
You beat 3 teams that get paid to play the game, and you're telling me that what they did isn't the come up. All right, I'm sorry, but you didn't beat those 3 teams. They beat those 3 teams. That's the come up. Shit, I can't even beat those 3 teams today or next month or the month after that. So the fact that they even made it that far, sometimes you got to give them props. And in Gears of War, we have a culture where we don't give people props because everybody's the best and everybody's a hard ass. Nobody likes to give other people props. And in this scene, you have to start doing that, because if you don't, then it's like, who's going to give you the props when you beat a team? When you finally beat a pro team, you want somebody to come up to you and say, well, shit, that ain't a come up. You got lucky. It was just the best one. Or you want someone to say, yo, you're the truth, shout you out in this, that, and the third. What do you really want?
Real quick, Val, real quick. Tell me again. I just want to make sure for clarification.
Yeah.
The 5 people on that team. Name them off for me real quick. I know Lanarchy. I know Zyshow. Who are the other 3?
Abolics.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's why they're not going. I got it.
Yeah,
he's comfy in his home. They can win a lot of 2Ks with Abolics playing from home. It's hard for them to go and win with him. Yeah. I'm gonna stick with that opinion until I see differently on LAN.
I really hope that they stick together and bang it out after Mexico, because, like I said, the future of Gears of War is actually bright, and the fact that we have young talent to actually do that is amazing. Velly, beating Golden State during the season doesn't mean you're taking home a shit, dude. It doesn't mean they're gonna win first place. It means that they have talent. Like, don't look too deep into this. Like, they beat a pro team that you can't beat, that a lot of people can't beat, and that's really it. So I mean,
That's a confidence thing. Like, what are you gonna like?
Why put
I
it down?
casted with Colin, and I was super hard on them. And then I was watching him yesterday, and I was just dumbfounded and impressed about how much of an improvement I saw in less than a week.
Yeah.
Like the team
shout out to that whole
improved.
team, TreyWay, man.
Like,
That's true.
They get the credit. They won. They're in a 2K final on fight night. If you wanted any other promotion, like, you have earned your seat at least at a table for now. So take it. But again, we want to see you compete at LAN. Don't get us wrong. Don't get it twisted. We're not taking any of your credit away. I want to see what you do as a team together against other teams with the other opponent in front of you and not online. That's all.
Exactly. That's pretty much it. You know, reciprocity doesn't make top 4 for what 5 weeks in a row into 2K, and no one bats an eye. And
Well, they actually got
we batted an eye.
They did?
We did more than bat an eye.
Like no one,
Reapers lost early.
everyone says they're gonna be okay, but a team comes out of nowhere and beats 3 professional teams, and everyone says, "Oh, they just had a good day." It's like, yo, like, cut them some slack, give them the props they deserve, man. That's really all I feel about that. But any last words about what happened in the 2K at all before we get into the power rankings?
Hey, well, at least Reciprocity didn't get knocked out by Orlando this time, so they at least made it to like the top 8 play and then got whooped. So that was it was better for them. Shout out to Reapers for doing that one, taking Reapers out.
All right, so getting into power rankings, Speedy. Minus your team, because we all know you're gunning for first place and none less. Who would you say realistically are your top 4 going into Mexico City? Minus your team.
Not including my team, right? Of course, you got to put OpTic in there. That's just a no-brainer. OpTic, Denial, I think Latin Kings, and SSG.
In that order?
I think Denial and Latin Kings, it will be like a good one. I think they'll be good. I think those two can they can flip flop. I think SSG, around there. It goes OpTic, and then the next 3. It depends how you wake up that day, really.
I feel like
can beat each other.
I agree, and I feel like 5th through 8th is really a coin flip. But if you had to give one team, like the upset team of the event, a team that can really do amazing that no one really expects to, who would it be? If any team were to beat those top 4 teams or place top 4, who would you put your money on?
Maybe like, I don't know, man. Like maybe like a Reciprocity Shocks team, like maybe somebody like that. Other than that, like those teams, I don't really see any team really upsetting them. To be honest, like I'm not really sure.
Except your team.
Yeah, like come on, man, we're out here.
I'm gonna go with this, but I'm gonna throw it out because I've seen Elevate. Whoop.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Elevate.
Elevate has been cooking Latin American Kings right now. Goes like bad. It's been like
that bad.
It's been decisive. Like Elevate has been playing out. And I've watched it, and they almost beat Denial too. So that is one team that I'm looking forward to seeing where they end up in the bracket or in pools specifically, because they have been looking great. Because that's the leftovers of like the top team in Mexico. Like nobody wanted them, and they came together. Crack has been playing out of his mind, and so is Cardia.
He's so good.
They're a good team. They're definitely underrated. They're definitely a good team though, and they're going to be in their hometown. Like they're going to be in Mexico.
They get to play in front of the crowds.
Yeah,
like, they could be the team. Like they could upset and still be. They still are the home field advantage team outside of Ghost Gaming. So I'm really interested to see where they end up. And again, like of course it's like OpTic, Denial, Samsung, or Space Station. I keep saying SSG always. League, so SSG used to be Samsung Gaming, so that's why it's like Space Station. But yeah, I could see that like making sense, and then it's a toss up. Like you've got like 5 or 6 teams that could be top 4. It's pretty open at this point to see where they end up. And honestly, if one of those top teams has a bad performance, because I don't know how the pro point structure is right now, I don't know who fits where. I know OpTic is going to be Pool A for sure.
Well, forget that, Waldo. This is strictly power
like
rankings.
power rankings.
Forget pools. Forget all that BS. I want your top 4 teams going into Mexico City. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Not this universe. Not that universe. Give it to me straight.
6, Waldo. Go
Give it to me straight. You get 4.
To 6. Velly wants to
6.
Go to 6. Okay. So I'm gonna say OpTic, Space Station, Denial, Elevate. I'll give Speedy's team and Ghost Gaming.
Holy shit, that's a good list. Space Station over Denial too. That's actually realistic in my opinion.
I got a good fact for you there, Velly. If you want to, because I was putting Space Station 2 right behind OpTic Gaming as well in my own power ranking. Because I wonder if
I was doing the same.
I've got Space Station number 2 for 2 big reasons. Number 1, Space Station Gaming continuously shows up on side stations when they have to make a loser bracket run. Since Dallas of last year, they have not lost, whether it's pool play, bracket play, loser bracket, winner bracket. If you put Space Station on side station, game over. See you later. Bye-bye. Since last year in Dallas, they have not lost on a side station. They also have 5 guys that have quietly grinded throughout this entire season. They've had some slip-ups in 2Ks. They've lost 3. They've lost 3 in a year, which is about as many as OpTic Gaming has lost. So they are as dominant over there as OpTic Gaming is over here. So I'm putting them at number 2 because of the side station, because of their consistency, because they just beat a team like Echo Fox in San Diego. They end up falling to Ghost Gaming, but that's not the same Ghost Gaming roster we have anymore. We have a completely new one, and that was to the likes of somebody sitting 2 down from me to the left, Speedy and company. So I'm going to go ahead and say Space Station Gaming right now is sitting pretty and solid at number 2 in the world for me. Okay. And then I pretty much agree. I'm going to go Denial 3, and that's simply based off of history and the ability on land of some of those guys. I'm going to put Speedy's team at number 4. Okay. I jumped them up to 4th, and then I put Ghost Gaming. I was going to say Latin American Kings. I put Ghost Gaming right behind them at number 5. Ghost Gaming is going to be playing with a lot of energy. That's great as long as you can sustain that. But the biggest worry I have about that team is these games are long. You do not get to just play top teams for 14 to 20 minutes and 7-0 them real quick and move on with your life. If you're playing with that much fun, that much energy, that much passion, and you're having to make a long loser bracket run, child, I hope you got some G Fuel on you, because you're going to be dead to the world that night when you hit the bed pillow. The reason I have them moving up that far, though, is because I do still have confidence that they are the best team in Latin America. Elevate's playing really well online, but I need to see more out of them on land from certain players that have competed previous that haven't had the experience or haven't had the show outstanding performance that they have.
That's the thing. Speedy, before I make my list, so we have Space Station Gaming as top 2 now, twice in a row from the caster and analyst. Is that far-fetched, or is that actually pretty damn realistic?
I mean, they're great. Don't get me wrong, but like I've never lost to Space Station Gaming. With the event we won, Vegas, we beat them 3 times.
3 times.
Event. I think they're great. I think it really comes down to matchups. Like they matched up against OpTic better than we did, but they couldn't beat us. It's just like it's weird. It's just a lot. It's a lot more to it than people know.
Okay, all right. So if I'm gonna have to do a little cute list or whatever, obviously the gods are gonna be first place. Second place, I'm not sold on Denial. Denial, they seem to struggle against teams that are just chaotic. If there's any team out there that could be that way, I'm gonna have to give it to Hydrone and the rest of the boys on Space Station Gaming. So I'm gonna do Space Station Gaming number 2 as well. Third place, Denial. That's gonna be my top 3. Fourth place, I'm gonna say it's gonna, depending on how well Speedy's team actually improves. Going into Mexico this week is gonna be important. I'm actually really feeling Ghost Gaming. For the fact that they know how to compete against the best of the best in NA. Something that Denial doesn't have the experience of doing. I'm gonna have them top 4, Speedy's team top 5, top 6. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to put down. That's hard as hell, man. Reciprocity, they haven't wowed me. Simplicity is just inconsistent. I honestly don't know who to put there. Like that's really a toss up to me. I'll put Elevate there, whatever. But I feel like in the end, this event is the event to place your best that you ever have. because of roster mania and just the amount of really high level teams entering into this tournament. So I really feel like if you're an upset team, you're really gonna have a chance to really catch teams off guard to go ahead and place well. My predictions, I'm not 100% on them, but this is probably the most shakiest event I've ever seen in my life for Gears of War.
But that's what's going to make it so interesting. It's going to be basically when we get to bracket play, we're going to have a lot of March Madness happen. We're going to see a lot of high seeded teams go up against lower seeded teams, and they're going to actually get to be able to bang out with them because this is not the solidified rosters of old days. This isn't dynasties. These aren't two standout. It's not going to be that. You're going to see somebody get upset sooner or later, and once one team gets upset, they're going to fall like dominoes. I think once we get to the event, you know how it is, Vel and Waldo. Speedy's gotten to see it the past couple events. I always go into the media rooms. I like to speak to the teams prior to the events. I like to try to pick their brains, get how they're feeling, try to make my analysis based off of how that is, do little interviews with them, just try to find where their heads are at. So right now, these are my power rankings based on the last couple of weeks of performances. Certain players, even though they've shifted over teams, you put those players together. That's why I've got Speedy's team so high, because players from that team consistently have performed at a high level for about a month straight almost.
Yeah.
So, but once we get to the event, we're gonna get to see how these guys are feeling. If you're gonna feel shaky, if you're gonna feel confident, heck, you know how it is. Sometimes you might go down to Mexico City, accidentally get ice in one of your drinks, and next thing you know, you're on the toilet for the rest of the weekend.
Right. And moving on to the last topic of the day, because I'm about to take my fat ass to the gym. Let's do the fight night preview. So, Dylan, heading into this game against I forgot. Oh, it's
TreyWay.
You're playing TreyWay, yes. How do you honestly think this is going to go down? Honestly. And feel free to be as cocky and as big-headed as you want to. Flex a little bit.
Man, I'm not here to play anybody down. I mean, we're confident going into there. Obviously, they just beat 3 good teams. They beat 3 great teams. Well, quote-unquote great teams. Yeah. You have to obviously put some type of respect on their name. I don't think it's going to be easy, but we're still really confident going into it.
Okay. All right, Colin, how you think this is going to go down, man?
I think we're going to get to see a lot of Nasher fights. I think it's going to get to be pretty interesting. We're going to get to see a lot of close-range battles where people are not going to really expect. We're going to get to see a completely different type of play style. We're used to seeing OpTic Gaming giving a backhand to whoever it is they may be in the 2K finals with. This week, we're probably going to have a lot closer of a matchup. We're going to see some different strats that we might not normally see. We might see some different – we're definitely going to see different players. Thank goodness for that one. So people are going to get the exposure. But the thing that I am most excited about, honest to God, I want to see – certain players, and my player to watch, Toy Soldier. Every time he's under the bright lights, we called him inconsistent early in the season. He started performing as of late. In Columbus, he was great. San Diego, he played well except for 2 matches.
I feel like we should let go of that though, man. I feel like Toy's already proved that he's back.
I know that he's proved he's back. What I'm saying is I'd love to watch him under the bright lights on a big stage. So we're going to see them tomorrow night go on to another big stage of Fight Night. All eyes are going to be on them to be able to perform. And this is a nice little application, I think, for Speedy's team. Show these orgs exactly who you are, what you're made of. And since one of you 2 is not going to land, treat it with all due respect. Get 14 rounds, move on with life, get that money.
Hey, I agree, Waldo. What's going to be the map count? What's going to happen? How many kills is Speedy going to get in the first map with the torque bow? What's happening?
I don't know. It depends on where they go. Depends on the map picks. I mean, they showed they're really good on all the new maps. That TreyWay was really good on Old Town Slab. So if that's going in, we'll see how that ends up. But I'd really like to see good map picks. I guess we're gonna probably see Foundation. I don't know what they're gonna be. I'm just speculating at this point. But I could see it going to 3 games. I could see it going to game 3. They're good enough. If they're playing as confident as they were on Sunday, I could see they could probably steal a game. I think Speedy's team should win. Again, I thought everybody else should beat that team too, but they didn't. So I could be completely. Yeah, they should win, but.
We know how that turned out.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's pretty much it for me. Speedy, I really want to thank you for pulling up on the show. I know it's not your thing to get up here and do this, so I know it took a lot out of you. We got to see a side of you that we really don't see at all. People they had this perception of you as being just this hard ass that does nothing but yell, but in reality, you've been absolutely chill. So thanks for coming aboard. Anything you want to say just for the viewers, the people that love watching you. Anything you want to say about Fight Night, Mexico City? Get something off your chest, boy.
I mean, I'm not really. I'm a man of few words, man. I really have nothing to say.
I really thank you for coming on board. But on Waldeezy, I'm gonna see you next week. I can't wait. Anything you want to say, baby?
Hey, like, shout out to the boys from TreyWay, and like gave me an interesting Sunday. Like, probably one of the most interesting 2Ks I've had to watch because I had no idea what was going to happen after that happened. But yeah, shout out to everybody. I'll see 3 of you in Mexico. Oh no, I'll see all of us in Mexico next week. What am I saying? I was like, Speedy's being there too. I'll see you guys on the desk though. I'm interested. I really want to know what the pools are. Like, we didn't do like a pool, like where we think things are going to end up, because I'm really interested to see, like, there's some good storylines going into this next event.
We're doing the draws Wednesday.
I know. That's what I'm excited for. I want to see where everybody falls, because I know I can kind of figure out like the top 4 if I knew the pro points, but I don't. Yeah. So kind of like, who's holding 4?
It's OpTic, Denial, us, and I don't know if
you're top like 3. I mean top 4.
Yeah. Well, we have the 3rd seed
Is that in the world? I think in the world, I think you're gonna have to have 2 international teams be the top seeds in pools, don't you?
No. It's just
because some events they do like 3.
So then SSG has to be 3 or 4. There's no way
SSG has had enough pro points to beat out North American teams. That's why they're in top 4.
There's no way SSG. I think they're actually the 3rd ranked team overall in the world.
I would say so.
In the world, not they're 4th overall in the world. PR. I see it in chat now.
SSG is 4th. Okay. So who the hell is 3rd?
So that would mean Speedy's team is 3rd in the world.
Speedy's team is 3rd, so that
makes sense.
Like, that means they don't play, but that's good because that means in the way our brackets work out, C and A, whoever wins C plays the loser or the 2nd seed at A, and then same thing with the other side. So we could see some really nice matchups going to the champ bracket, which will be awesome for Saturday.
Okay, all right, that's pretty solid then. So shout out to the chat, 230 viewers, topped out. You guys are beautiful. I love all of your faces. I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again, especially to my Rainbow Six Siege fam. Once again, shout out to Speedy leaving Ghost Gaming and still pulling up to the finals of Fight Night. That's what's popping. Waldo, you and I analyst. I miss you. I can't wait to see you next week. Colin, you think you're good at casting?
I ain't shit, boy. I ain't shit.
You ain't good. You great. I love you.
No. I had to work harder than an ugly stripper. I said it once. I say it again.
Listen, tell Andre I said I love him, man. I can't wait to see you next weekend. Chat, for everybody going to Mexico, if we've never spoken before, if we never met, make sure you come up, introduce yourself to me, Colin, and Waldo, especially Speedy. He a man if he works, he might like that.
He likes to let these do the talking for him. He's amazing. He does action. The thumbs. That's why they were close together, baby. They were close together.
Unless he plays claw, we'll see. You don't play claw, do you?
He's all thumbs, isn't he?
Nah,
he's all thumbs. Season 1. He said season 1 when you won. What was it? Upcoming player. What was it? Most breakout player. Breakout player. Breakout player of the year. He said all thumbs. So give the man his respect. Give him respect on his name.
I also want to give a big shout out to G Fuel for believing in us along with UGC. You know what I'm saying? They blessed your boy with a few things or 2. You know what I'm saying? This is half of it. But shout out to G Fuel. I'm not gonna lie, since I took a sip of that Dr. Disrespect stuff. I am wired right now. Like, I'm actually wired. Like, I'm gonna get on the treadmill.
He's about to check his corners. Q&E straight.
So I'm gonna give a shout out to UGC. I love you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be at this level. G Fuel, I want to thank you guys for believing in On the Flank. Make sure if you ever want to buy G Fuel, holla at your boy. 10% off if you use OTF. Other than that, I love you guys. Tony, make sure you host somebody special. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on Wednesday on Fight Night. Colin and I will see you guys again Monday at 8 o'clock. Other than that, I want to thank you for tuning in. And it's pretty much it. Run that outro, Tony. I'll see y'all later.